Everybody, drop your buffs. We are switching tribes.
Hey everyone. Drop your buffs and welcome to Swap Screwed. My name is JoMaH, and I run a podcast where we talk all things Minecraft, all things Survivor, all things Minecraft Survivor. And today is Wednesday. And if you don't know what that means, it's Survivor time. Survivor just premiered. The first episode just finished. And I had this whole speech planned, and I was like, for those who don't know, this is Survivor. This is Minecraft Survivor. But just, wow. The first episode, I'm at a loss for words. So, for context, if you don't know what Survivor is, it's a reality show. Basically, a bunch of people get on an island, and they're forced to not only live, socialize together, just survive on the island, but then they have to play sort of a social politics game where they compete for safety, and if they do not win safety, they have to vote someone out. And Survivor 45 just premiered, and I had a bunch of things that I was planning to talk about, like the twists, the characters, the challenge. There weren't really a lot of new twists, and that sucks. But the biggest thing I think we're all like on our minds is the Lulu tribe, the yellow tribe. For those who don't know, this tribe has been very entertaining, I will say. Has been very entertaining. But the events that just happened on our screen, holy cow, you can't make it up. This is something that you see from like a simulation of a season. So that is blinding. So, I mean, without further ado, I guess let's dive straight into it. Let's talk about the episode, what we love, what we don't love. But this episode's going to be a little rough from this podcast because the community where I come from, we're very much into Survivor on the game and the strategical portion of it. So seeing the events that was building up to it, seeing them not unfold and having to get put off and just, I guess, paused is definitely going to upset a lot of people. But with that, I'm not going to waste any more time. Let's get talking into this. So, let's get Discord working. There we go. All right. So, without further ado, let me bring on a few guests. We got a pretty nice pool of audience. I think the first person I want to bring on, you might have seen him in this recorded Survivor. It's Mr. Aries Pink. He is a proud contestant on Minecraft Survivor, The Frontier. Aries, obviously, you don't have to turn on your webcam. You're good. I need to deactivate.
How's it going?
This. How's it going? My favorite Frontier contestant. That's a lie, by the way. But if you haven't seen Aries,
thank you. I appreciate it.
If you haven't seen Aries, he's a contestant on The Frontier. What is The Frontier? It's a season that I host on this YouTube channel, so give it a watch after this podcast. I think after this, let's bring on a new guest, someone we haven't seen in a while. Mr. Fearless Red Hawk. He's another person from this community. You may have seen him in a couple other recordeds, but he was actually with us in our Discord call where we do watch parties of Survivor. And I think he was in the same boat with all of us of just what happened. So, yeah. Last but not least, we're bringing another new guy. We're going to bring in Rondell. I got three people who all watched this episode with me. We're going to bring these guys on for a little bit. Obviously, you guys are not, known for using webcams. I'm not going to force you guys to.
I
But
can if you want me to. I'll
it's
do
your call. It's your call.
Yeah.
I don't wanna force you, but welcome, Red. I don't know where to start because at first I was going to talk about like, oh, let's talk about the season or let's talk about like what happened. Holy crap! Like this episode, I'm at a loss. I think the biggest thing that we should do is let's just like get the elephant out of the room. The Lulu situation. For context, we have I think three the most notable people are Brandon, someone who almost passed out and had collapsed basically during the first reward challenge. Emily, who people here really enjoy and really love her personality. She's in Rubbing the Tribe, not in the nicest way. And last but not least, we have Hannah, who after the challenge was like, I don't know if I want to do this. I don't know if I want to continue. And at Tribal Council, it seemed to be this interesting showdown between Brandon, who is seen as the tribe liability, or Emily, the person who's seen as like rubbing the tribe the wrong way. But even then, Emily's pitching Caleb as a vote, like the strongest person. And it put another variable into the round of like what's going to happen. But then Hannah walks. Hannah says, "This ain't cut out for me. I don't want to be here." And she's our first boot.
I got something controversial to say, by the way. I think, and here's my thing. Here's my thing, right? I know that this is gonna ruffle a lot of feathers, but I actually really like Emily. Okay, I think a lot of people when they saw her on their screen or whatever, it's like, oh my god, why is she calling out Bruce? I think that she is saying the things that we all want to say if we go out there, right? Like, oh my god, I can't stand Bruce. He had his chance or whatever, right? Or like the alliance thing that she called out a Tribal Council, right? With who was it? I think it was Caleb and I think it was Sabaya, right? Those two were kind of conversing during the episode. She's not wrong necessarily in their observations, and that's one of the things that I find kind of endearing about Emily, because even if Hannah wasn't like this trash can of a player, just as walking like pre-merge father, or Brandon wasn't there, I think Emily has a pretty good chance of actually surviving the first Tribal Council. And I know that what we saw out there of her was like people saying that she was annoying, that she was frantic, someone that no one really liked having on there. She was very self-aware about it. Like, she wasn't oblivious. Like, you see how like Philip Shepard at Redemption Island was like, oh, everyone loves me, I'm gonna win the game, and then he gets to the end and then like everyone hates him, and he wasn't able to see that. Emily is someone that I think can kind of turn it around. I think she's very aware of how she's portrayed, and she understands like her position in the tribe. And also, by the way, I just want to put in one more comment about like Brandon. Brandon reminds me a lot of Jacob Derwin, right? I don't know why, but dude,
I see it.
you cannot tell me, bro. You cannot tell me that these two are not the same person.
Oh my god, I see it. Holy. Rondell, do you want to comment on it or should I?
You can.
No. I'll give you the floor. You're this is your first time appearance. How do you feel of Brandon? Because we got Emily's opinion from Aries. How do you view Brandon? Because a lot of people when we were watching it was like, Brandon is the type of person who, Brandon is our representation.
I don't think Brandon makes it past this pre-merge. I'm gonna be honest. Like, I kind of agree with Aries in some way. Like, yeah, Emily's this game player. I don't think like the next time Yellow goes to Tribal Council, I don't think Emily is gonna go home. I think like Brandon, like, already we've seen him go through like 2 or 3 like breakdowns basically, and I feel like that's gonna amplify even more with every day that comes. Like, honestly, this whole tribe reminds me of the Blue Tribe from the Philippines.
Matt saying, yeah. And let me be very clear, by the way. These guys are going to Tribal Council a lot, bro. These people are going to Tribal Council, like, probably going to be whittled down to 2 members, okay? And new Survivor is so rough with this, like not swaps, right? Or
No
100%.
swap, but we're gonna get a merge most likely at 12 or 13. Probably 12. Probably 12. Honestly, maybe 13. Honestly, maybe 13 with this tribe. This tribe might.
I would like to bet. I was gonna say something. I would like to bet. What would I like to bet? What's something good I could bet?
McFlurries. I personally love them.
McFlurries. Yeah, I'll bet like 5 McFlurries that Brandon does not get past the pre-merge. There's no way that this guy is ever going to get far if he can't like prove himself in the challenge or something. Like these people are not gonna work around him or something like that, right? I know he wants to be there. He obviously like fought for himself, but like portraying yourself is super important. Going up to someone and saying like, "I had really bad heartburn. Like I'm in such pain. I understand like you're in pain, but don't like save face about it. People have gone home for a lot less." And that was an easy way to get voted out.
It's weird because I feel like it's a case of like, because we play Minecraft Survivor so much, we know it's not an elemental issue for us. Like it's not a struggle to get on and play hours at a time for most people, at least. And I feel like that like I don't mean to like defend this argument, but it could be something like with how Hannah felt. During her exit confessional, she was like, you have no idea how it is. Brandon even said it. Like, you have no idea how it is on the island until you get there. And I guess what I'm wondering now, I'm not concerned about the game. I'm concerned about like the experience on Survivor now. Because I'm like, does this game break you down so much to where like it's not a fight of staying, it's a fight of wanting to go home. Brandon wanted to go home. Hannah wanted to go home. And like, I'm starting to wonder, like, damn, does Survivor really break you down this much? But I guess the one thing I do want to talk about, because before we change this topic, is Emily, because I feel like Emily it's a first for this new era of a character that like you hate to hate, or like because like you have like your Jessies, for example. Like Jessie, clearly a villain in the game, clearly ruthless, clearly is against, and is doing villainous acts. But you love Jessie. You love to root for Jessie. Even someone like Shan from 41, people might have disliked her, but sometimes you were rooting for her, and she was a little villainous. Emily, I feel like, is just a whole new tier of like, a lot of people so far do not like Emily and are actively like not loving, but like they despise her. They want her to get out so badly. And
I mean, I like that though. I like people that are like,
I agree with you. This is such, with the new era of Survivor, you get a lot of people who are hopeful, inspiring, want to tell their stories. And it's definitely weird to see Emily on, because we've seen like 4 seasons of like this new era where you get so many people in their aspiring stories, which is great. But then when you throw in Emily, people are taken back. Like, this is normally not what I see. I don't normally see this. And I feel like that's why it's off-putting to some people. But for like, as like watching it and as like characters, I love it. It's like Frontier. I talked to someone who watches it, and they're like, I really love Skyfire. And no bash to Skyfire, but a lot of like, I know more people who are not for Skyfire than people who are. And I think it falls under the category of it's a character that doesn't really fit the norm of the show. Emily, like, is not your typical villain, because the villain portrays some morality or some story or some character. We have not seen that from Emily yet. We have seen just a pessimistic, half-empty, they even say it in the show, just someone who is sort of beating down the whole tribe. And
I mean,
it's definitely fresh. But I think that's the biggest reason why people are so off-put by her. It's because for the past however many seasons, we haven't seen it before. So it's fresh, but that's why people don't like it, because it's old school. It's old school. That's what I'm gonna.
Oh, by the way, Red,
very old school. Who? Oh, Red. I got you.
Red. Yeah. He's in there.
Let's get him back on. Take 2.
All right. Yeah. I mean, to be honest, like, I didn't want to say this. I kind of told you, JoMaH, but Emily reminds me so much of Chip, like so much
From the
like
Frontier.
yeah. And to be
I
honest, like
with what we've seen so far, I disagree. And like I understand your argument. Where like Emily is off-putting to the tribe, but Emily off-put the whole tribe. I feel like Chip in the Frontier, she didn't do that. Yes, she rubbed some people the wrong way, but she didn't rub everyone the wrong way. I think right now Chip's actually in a great spot in the game because she has one or two people who are going to be fighting for her compared to someone like, I don't know, Justin, who I think might be rubbing less people the wrong way, but doesn't have as many deep connections. So I see the comparison areas, but at the same time, Emily has just rubbed everyone the wrong way to a point where people think that like Sean, people think Sean's in the best position on Lulu right now because he's in the middle of Caleb and Sabaya.
it's Brandon and Emily
And
versus
then
Caleb
Brendan
and
and Emily.
Sabaya.
The thing is though, I don't know if Brendan works with Emily. I don't know. That's like my thing because I don't. Emily is the type of player.
I mean, you
So
kind of saw it in
far-
the episode where it was like, okay, guys, so Caleb and Sabaya are together. Like, come on, Brandon. Like, you saw them have that conversation with Hannah, Emily, and who else was it? Brandon? Or no, Brandon, basically, right? Those three were kind of together, and they were kind of like, listen, those two are already strategizing, we have to do something about it. We have to make a counter alliance, which is good game sense, to be honest. But it sucks that the people that she's out there with don't want to play the game. They don't even want to be there. So,
Well, another thing to point out though is how Sean also talked to Sabaya like right when she came back, like from the initial sweat and savvy
Oh,
part, right?
yeah.
He immediately went to Sabaya and talked to her about that. It's like how he got that vibe from Emily. It is interesting though because now they did lose Hannah, right? So does Sean have to pivot against a duo, right? Especially if your tribe keeps losing. So he does have an interesting like dilemma on his hands where he could side with the two weakest people in the tribe pretty much to reposition himself better, or he can work with Caleb and Sabaya as a strong three, but he's on the bottom of the three. So it is interesting because this tribe has very high chance to just get absolutely decimated.
I think that's the
yeah.
move though, because I think they're going to get decimated anyway. Like Sean isn't a strong player. Like look at his build. Look at like most of the people on the tribe, right? So if you're in the pre-merge phase of the game and you're trying to think, okay, if I'm in Sean's position and I have control over who I want to bring to the merge, and I know that Emily's going to self-destruct, and I know that Brandon's going to self-destruct. Those are two less people I have to outplay rather than someone like maybe a Brandon who's going to, be a non-entity, and Emily who's probably going to be an FTC go, right? Well, depending, she could probably improve. I think she'll improve with time out there. But, depending on the two options, if you're going to go full destruction mode, why not just, full send it and bring the two worst people you can to the merge, or maybe one of the two. I don't know. And there's also more outplay potential, I feel like, there. Because as you said earlier, JoMaH, right? Brandon and Emily, those two might not exactly work with each other. And Emily is someone that is very abrasive. There's no way that, I feel like Brandon would choose Emily over maybe like someone like Sean, who is maybe more well composed. It's just, food for thought, food to think about, right? Well, Caleb and Sabaya, they already have a click going on. So,
No, yeah, and I said this in our DMs too, as a little bit as a joke, but I think now I actually stick with it. Definitely not from the frontier areas because that is a different you. But I see a lot of Emily. I see a lot of you in Emily, not in a sense of personality where I dislike you, but in unrecorded game shows that you play, Aries, you play very aggressive, and not many people are used to that. And I think that's the reason why Emily's so off-putting. It's a method of Survivor that you would scream from the couch. But now that someone's actually gotten up off the couch and has said that on TV, people are like, whoa, this actually happened. To where, like, in theory, the best move for Brandon, Emily, and maybe Sean, it's, I see pros and cons from picking both sides. But the best move, in theory, would be to take out Caleb, because he's part of the duo. Technically, he's the biggest threat in the game, or biggest challenge asset, but you might as well throw the challenges on that tribe, because there's no way you're going to win. I compare it to that Emily is so aggressive, And that's why it's off-putting, because people in Survivor are normally a lot more passive. They don't want to be the big person saying or addressing the elephant in the room. They don't want to be the person in the front seat. Everyone wants to be pulling the moves from from the shadows or pulling the strings. Everyone wants to be that like secret mastermind. And Emily is just an aggressive. She's going to be aggressive. I think no matter what, there's never going to be a moment where she dies down. It's not going to be something with like Gabler where he rises up and comes back down. Emily is going to be playing aggressive. It's going to off-put so many people. And I think that's why she could crumble and downfall, just because new people aren't used to that. But at the same time,
I disagree. Because here's my thing, JoMaH, right? The thing with Emily is that when you have this fluid gameplay, like last season, right? There was flip votes all the time during merge because no one really wanted to take a stand. And I specifically think Kane, remember Kane? I think that was from last season, right?
Kane from the Frontier.
No, not from the Frontier.
Oh, Kane from 44.
Dungeons and Dragons guy.
Yeah, basically, right?
Dungeon Master,
he was in trouble for 3 rounds. And I was just like begging, please do something where you're saying like, oh yeah, it's either me or him. Let's go after this guy. Create a 50-50. Do something with your life, you know? And this guy literally didn't do anything. And then he went home like 3rd jury member. He was in a bad spot the entire pre-merge. It's like he was just waiting to go home necessarily, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of get that vibe from like Emily, but here's the thing with Emily, right? If she's not afraid to be a shield and she's not afraid to be a tool that other people can use, it's pretty like, you know, whenever I play, you know, you fucking comparator to me, right? And I like to put myself as a shield for others to use to basically be like, hey, listen, I'm going to absorb the votes for you. Make sure you keep me in the game. And we'll just kind of work things out and we'll create the power structure, right? If Emily can do that and find herself in a pivotal power structure, I think that she'll do pretty well going further into the game, right? Something that many people in seasons past should have done, because the fluid gameplay doesn't really help the people that, you know, are not very sociable. And I gotta admit, Emily, what we've seen, she cannot socialize with the people at her camp, at her tribe.
She can't market herself. That I'm gonna interject real quick.
So
I feel
it's
like
a good, you know, what is it? Misdirection? No, not misdirection, but it's a good change per se, right? It's a good change of pace and a better strategy for her.
Yeah, TV wise, it's great, you know. And as a character, I personally enjoy her because it's a fresh dynamic. Game player though, when she's pitching to take out Caleb and I keep on forgetting her name. I feel so bad. Sabaya. She's saying take them out because of XYZ, and it's never keep me because of X, Y, and Z. And I think that's what Emily's missing. I feel like Emily could survive a lot longer, but right now it's a thing where she isn't marketing herself to people. And
her mindset's just negative. That's the issue.
Yes,
because
I
like
mean,
she's
if
so
you're in her
pessimistic.
position, I would do the exact same thing. Like, why not just be like, hey, listen, these two people, I mean, maybe not the exact same thing, but she had a pretty good point nonetheless, right? And in Sean's best move, or theoretical best move at that point, after she said those things, were to get rid of the 2 power duos, right? To get rid of Caleb and get rid of Sabaya, right? And
100%.
hopefully go into the cracks of the other 2, right? Of Brandon and then Emily. Because the thing with Emily, right, is I truly, truly, truly believe that she can make it far. I think that she can definitely find a way to get out of this mess, because the pre-merge, you just want to survive. You just want to get out of there.
Mhm.
And it's going to be a little bit difficult because she's not used to playing the way that people expect survivors to play. They expect her to play like this GSA, UTR, never speak out about anything until you're about to go home or something, or, you know, you're going to verse 2 goats and then maybe you'll get the win in a meme season or something. Like, no, not everyone can play like that, nor should everyone play like that. Play to your strengths, and she's very good at being aware of what's happening on her tribe. She understands that she can't socialize with some people. Then guess what? You know what? Change it up a little bit, and she's doing that. So I can't hate it.
Yeah, no, but at the same time, and I feel like Red agrees with me here. I could be wrong. I haven't given the chance to talk. I feel bad, but I just feel like she's marketing herself incorrectly, to a sense where it's never about why you should keep me. It's why you should take these people out, which in theory, yeah, it's good because, you know, in the pre-merge, all it is about surviving. So it's an anyone but me mindset. But at the same time, if some new group forms, Emily could get outcasted. I don't know. It's hard. If Red and Rondell, if one of you guys want to chime in,
Gara
I
wants
just feel
to be,
like
dragged in, by the way.
who?
Gara.
Okay, I'll drag him in a second. But she, it's just a thing of where it's like a commercial. You know, you're not telling me why your product's really good. You're telling me why all the other products are bad, and it.
Yeah. I think what if Emily was like had the perfect brand, I think she would actually side with Caleb and Samaya and say, "Hey, I think we're all the best players on this
I
tribe."
think that's a terrible idea because I think Caleb and Sabaya will always vote her out. Like they said immediately, like, "Oh my god, like I think that Emily would flip if it were to come to a merge or something like that." I don't think that would be the case. We don't know Emily if she's loyal or not.
I think
mean,
it's
she
definitely the
probably
case.
isn't.
She's so like paranoid. Like
Yeah, but
every
I think her
second she's
best
paranoid.
move is to work with Brandon and Sean because I think that she already established like the other people, right? Sabaya and Caleb and stuff.
At the
Her
same
best
time, though,
move-
if Brandon and Sean don't want to work with her, I don't feel like she should be trying to beat a dead horse. I
That's
feel
what
like
I'm
Rondell
saying.
does have a point where, and I feel like Emily would be the type of player to do this. Consider all options on the board. I know she hates people. She's definitely here to win. She's not here to make friends. So, as much as it might annoy her to work with Caleb and Sabaya, if it means getting to merge, I think she's going to take that option. I could be wrong, but
I do want to backtrack something because I did say like she would flip. I honestly think she can't because she already pissed off all the blue tribe like 5 seconds of the game. I think we're just forgetting about that she just immediately called out Bruce and like argued with him back and forth for like a solid probably 10 minutes out there. And
yeah,
immediately was like scared as fuck of her. And
she did
rightfully
do
so.
that. Yeah. Okay, real quick, and these are the only two people left. I'm gonna drag Rainy, my wonderful friend who does an amazing edit for me for the Frontier. If I haven't said it already, go check it out. And Gara, who last time on the podcast had some choice words.
Needs
So
no
I-
introduction. Good morning.
So I know, Gara, you're on thin ice. If you call someone a psychopath again, I might have to kick you from the call.
I'm on my best behavior.
Okay, you better be. But I'm sorry. Continue, Red. Or were you finished? I'm sorry.
Go on.
I mean, I'm basically done. I mean, I think she has no chance to like actually flip to people just because she's already burning bridges somehow, despite not even being on the same tribe as someone. Like, I feel that's such a bad move to like fight someone on the mat just before you like, I don't know, just like the start of the game. It's just such a bad first impression that you get of this person, and I think
Yeah.
that's carried over to every other tribe. So she's already limited her options tremendously. Already
what
on the
you
weakest
mean.
tribe to begin with.
Lulu's definitely the highlight tribe of this episode for the
Oh
chaoticness.
my
But
god.
I do want to divert our attention because believe it or not, there are 12 other
12
castaways.
People.
So
I get
I
what
don't
you mean.
know if God damn it, Gara. I don't know if you guys have a preference on which tribe you want to pick, but I say let's
I
talk about
definitely
either
do. I
the
definitely
red
do.
tribe or the blue tribe. What I think. Let's start with the blue
As
tribe.
opposed to the green tribe.
Let's yeah, one pump, no green tribe. Let's talk about the blue tribe because during the watch party, a lot of people from now keep in mind this is the Minecraft survivor community. A majority of us are geeky guys who
Not me.
are,
Not me.
are the nerd
Let me
archetype.
make that clear.
So when the blue tribe goes and says and has the three women, Kelly, Kendra, and they're all K names.
Yeah,
we don't
the
pronounce that last
KKK
one.
up here.
Hey,
What?
no.
Hold on. What?
uh,
That's wrong.
Kathra, is that her name?
Hatsura.
Katura.
Katura.
Oh
Katura. one of the
god,
two.
we all are saying something.
Doesn't matter.
I'm gonna call her Kat. I'm sorry. I'm gonna call her Kat so I don't mess
Ah.
it up again. But Kat,
That's okay.
Kelly, and Kendra. All three of them get together when Bruce is off, I don't know, doing whatever, and Brando and Jake are doing the challenge, and they're like, "Oh my God, we're all."
Did I give my comment on this?
Yeah, I'm gonna stay on the stage. Give me a second.
Yeah,
but they're all
absolutely.
like, "Oh, we're all like Virgos, or we're all have September birthdays. Let's make this group. Let's defy the status quo of women going home first." And from the Minecraft side of things, people were like, "Oh God, like I want to see game talk happen. I want to see strategy talk happen." this 3-person alliance who's bonding over astrology doesn't really sit well or isn't relatable to geeky guys. Adachi, you
Yes.
want to comment so badly on this, so the floor is yours. What's your take on this blue tribe? Do you love it? Do you hate it?
Listen, I think Kat and Kelly, they're not annoying at all. I think they're decent. I think Kendra needs to be like removed from the game immediately. I think here's the thing.
God.
3-person, like early game, those alliances where they just hung out the first episode, they don't really beat anything most of the time. Now let me say out of the blue tribe, I do think we have some good people. I think that little Asian kid, I think he's got it in him. But
Brandon?
let me say, yeah. But let me say, when I see Kendra on my screen, I cringe because you can tell that she doesn't actually mean what she says. She probably just got casted because she's pretending to play an astrology girl character. If you get what I mean.
All right,
I mean,
all
here's the
right.
thing, though, right? Here's the thing. I think it's a good anti-meta thing to do because you see so many times. Like, I think Survivor 43, like the pre-merge was all women and shit, right?
No, I
So,
get what you mean.
I mean, to be honest, it's kind of the move if you're like a woman on Survivor, like, hey guys, let's make an all-girls alliance. I mean,
Will it stick though?
Oh hell
the
no, it
question.
won't. Hell
Um,
fucking no.
I was going
Another-
to bring up Survivor 43. We did see a Girls Alliance pop up on the Baka tribe, and
And,
we all
and
know
the
how
other
that
blue
ended.
tribe, and the other blue tribe, I'm pretty sure. With
Oh, that's
Carla,
true. That's true.
Cassidy.
We had 2, and then we still got
They
5
still, yeah, they still
women
both
voted.
voted out out of
and
6
it-
pre-merge.
And this is going to be a hot take, and I don't mean to sound offensive here, but there is a reason why women go home first. It's because it's the same with why men go home first during the merge hitting. It's a value of needs and like perception on the game. Typically, and it sucks, women are seen as like less weaker due to body mass, due to personality, or whatever the reason. If a weaker woman is on your pre-merge tribe and you have the mindset of keep this tribe strong, typically someone of a weaker build, I think no matter what, is going to go home first. Compare when you hit the merge, like Jonathan, for example, from 42. Jonathan, I think, had his name out.
He was
almost-
a beast.
Yeah, he was a beast. And there's a reason why he didn't get targeted on the pre-merge tribe and why he got targeted on the merge. Because the merge, he was a threat, not to pre-merge. But another thing I want to comment on, and it goes to like perception and I guess anti-meta. We made a joke about this.
Yes.
How many lawyers or like attorney occupations are on this cast? Like 5? 4?
I think 4.
I think 3.
No way, it's 3.
We have a
It's
state attorney and
right now.
Julie on the
There's
red
the
tribe.
old lady, the African American lady, and the dude.
Julie,
only
Kat,
is
and
3.
Jake. Those are our
It only-
3.
It only is
I mean,
3.
it feels like a million because it's like all that's brought up about.
Oh
something.
my gosh. But I think it's Kendra. Kendra throws out Jake's name. Jake should go home first because he is a lawyer.
And smart,
Kat,
don't forget.
oh, and smart. And then Kat's like, oh yeah, this is a great idea. And Kat is an attorney, I'm pretty sure. Like, and
100%, yeah.
we were joking about this, about how like, why does everyone lies about, their occupation? Everyone, makes up whenever they're an attorney or a lawyer or like a salesman, they hide it. But now we're actually seeing it coming into effect where there's one lawyer who doesn't lie about their job, and then there's one lawyer who keeps their job a secret. And, as much as we flame it, I think we now know what the correct decision is.
I think at the
I-
end of the day, if you want to hide your occupation, I think that's your
Prerogative, right? But I don't think it really should have that big of an impact.
Yeah, if
Well,
you're
yeah,
a good
'cause, like,
player, you
Jake
should be able to
is-
survive it, Like,
Mhm.
dude, I don't think Jake is gonna go home at all. In fact, I think that maybe like who's the other lawyer? What was her name? Sabaya? No, it was Katara, right?
Yeah, Kendra.
Yeah, on the blue tribe.
Katara 100% is gonna be like, hey, listen, I'm kind of a secret lawyer too. Wouldn't it be funny if I aligned with this person? Like, I kind of get that vibe from her. No, like,
Well, she already like made up
Right?
the lie though to Jake.
Yeah,
I
so
think
feel like
her
there's no point-
asking
there's no
Jake
going
about
back.
being an attorney is the editors like putting a little seed in for us. Like, hey, maybe these two are actually going to be an attorney alliance.
I get what you mean.
Maybe without Jake even knowing.
We're gonna go.
Also,
from
I can't get over them
Cops R
calling
Us
Jake smart.
to
Lawyers are us.
Yep, lawyers are us. We might see that. I guess another thing I want to talk about is Bruce. Bruce is back and Bruce is on this blue
Let's
tribe.
go.
And
He didn't hit his head.
he didn't hit his head. He's not out of the
If reminded
game.
him.
He's not out of the game yet. However, even with the next time on Survivor, the little promo, he's not doing too well. He's been wanting to be. I think instead of being the fun uncle, this is the uncle that you go to the family reunion and like your mom's like, go say hi to him, go hang out with him. You don't talk to him at all, and you're like, ugh. As much as I want to see Bruce
Disagree.
succeed,
I love his vibes.
okay, well, in the game, there are three people on his tribe are like, Bruce is being this bossy person. Bruce is being too control. Like, I swear I'm not like, someone back me
I
up here.
feel like
Bruce
that's
is,
No,
that's how he
I
would have
just
been though.
I
on
don't.
his first
That's not
season
how it
too,
came
though.
across to me. That's not how it came across to me.
okay, then how did it come
I
across to you? I'm
interpreted
curious.
that as he's trying, but oh, silly Bruce, he just can't
Silly
help
little
it.
guy.
He's still the dad. He's still the leader of the tribe that he didn't get to be because he hit his head.
Yeah, I mean, this is just how Bruce would have been his first time. I feel like I don't think him
Yeah,
playing Star the first time, like he would have been like this.
That's right,
I was
Asagi.
thinking, I just think Bruce, like, he's a coach, right, in his real life. He's gonna be like kind of bossy. I feel like even on his first attempt, he would have been like that. But because he was hit his head, he like was just mentally out of it early. So I
Yeah.
feel like he didn't like even play the game or like could be bossy in that early game. So he didn't know to course correct that. I feel like. So I feel like we're just seeing how Bruce would play on his first time. I don't think he's changed really much of anything, to be honest with you, because he didn't have anything to base off of. I think he talked to probably players from a season, but I don't think it helped him, to be honest.
Yeah, I don't think he's like doing anything. I don't think he's doing anything different from how he would play if he got the chance to play on 44. But it's his strategy definitely is not being perceived the way he wants it to. Say little Bruce, I think no matter what, he's 100% going to be this dad. He's not going to be the fun uncle. People aren't going to be talking to him as a free agent. People are going to be either voting with him or against him. Simple as that. Bruce is never going to be in a like swing vote position, I feel like. And Eric's is going to be like, I actually disagree with that, and here's why.
I mean, I agree with it fully, but I'll let you know. Trust me, I'll let you know.
That's a first. All right. So I don't feel like there's anything else to highlight on this blue tribe so far.
Oh, I have
So-
something I want to highlight real quick.
Oh, okay.
My
what was
the
yours?
two people who I think are the best players on this tribe have not been shown once yet. I feel like, I think Kelly and Brando are good Survivor players, and they're just getting shafted right now. I feel like both of them have been. We didn't see much of them in the premiere, which really annoyed me because I feel like those are two people I really enjoyed preseason, and I feel like they could be good players, and they just didn't get shown like that much at all. And I feel like Kelly probably right now is in the best spot in the tribe, and she's just not getting shown at all, unfortunately. right now.
Probably, yeah. It's I could see it being like an Erica situation where like, or not like, she's under edited. Not in the sense where she's in a good spot, but she's just under edited because right now you just have better characters in milking Bruce for however long he stays. And,
Not long, apparently.
and you have the lawyer dynamic of Jake and Kat, and then you have astrology girl Kendra, who's like the Virgo's angels or September angels, like
It just
astrology.
feels like this tribe is under edited right now,
mean,
comparatively.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Like
Especially
Red, I feel like got more development than them.
they
Yeah.
disagree. I feel like it's the other way around.
I
I
I see
know more
both.
of the Red characters than
hey,
the
no
Blue
matter
tribe yet.
what, Yellow stole the show. I think that's something we all can agree on.
We're gonna see a lot of them.
Yeah.
So.
No shit, Yellow stole the show.
But let's go to Red now. Let's go to the Red tribe. I'm trying.
Dude, I have something to say. Drew reminds me so much of Swamp, bro. Oh my
Swamp?
god.
I thought you were
There's
saying
no
Hockey.
comparison.
When he was
What?
talking about like 100, my IQ is so high. I go to a prestigious school. It's like, dude, I just want this guy to go home pre-jury. Like it's the same thing with Carson, bro. I hated Carson. Just so annoying, super punchable face. I shouldn't say that.
You
But
shouldn't say that, but
here's
it's
the thing, though.
Drew's
Here's the
another
thing.
person who, if someone
He
from
could
this
go
community,
far though. That
no,
would
yeah,
be
he
really
could
suck,
go-
you know?
Gamebot, is that the right word? Should we put him as Gamebot? Is it
Yeah,
Gamebot?
he's pretty game botty, you know.
Gamebot territory.
I think in
haven't seen
confessional
enough
he's
of
gonna be a
him.
game bot. I think real life probably not.
No, yeah, like obviously
Yeah.
people get casted because they have personalities for the most part, unless you lie.
No,
about
he's a
it
game
or-
bot. Like first and foremost, like the way that he moves or whatever. He's like a robot. He's like, who's the guy, the CGA
No,
guy?
hey,
Oh,
hey,
if
Well,
anyone's a game bot, it's Bruce with those
it's
dance
Bruce,
moves.
It's Bruce. It was like,
Really.
but Drew, like I think Jonas said it. Drew was like, "Oh, Cochran's back again." People are comparing him to Cochran. It's like Zach Wartenberg with Adam.
Nah, don't do Zach like that, bro. Zach
No,
wasn't
it's
that
not.
bad.
No, it's not. It's not anything bad. It's a
Yeah.
thing where this person is getting compared so much to a past player. I feel like Drew's getting compared so much to Cochran in a sense where he's like the nerdy guy who's gonna be strictly game. Even I think Drew even compares himself to it preseason. But Drew,
Hold up.
I feel like if anything, Drew is a lesser version of Carson, and not in the sense of like intelligence, personality, or anything. Just Carson was good on his tribe because he was also a little physically built, to where, yes, he got viewed as a smart nerdy kid, but at the same time, when it came to like challenges, he wasn't seen as like an easy pick, and he was needed for his tribe to do the strength. I don't think that's the same for Drew. I think if Drew lives, it's going to be because he latches onto someone.
I was thinking the
disagree.
opposite. Yeah, I feel like Drew, he has a height advantage, but I feel like he's really strong in Survivor. Just by just being
Yeah,
tall, I
have-
feel like he'd do so much more.
Dude, he was
I
like
have
hovering over
his
someone.
most
I forgot
played
about
like
that.
pulled up.
Who
He
is
said
he next
people
to,
will
by
make
the
the
way?
comparison to Cochrane, but I identify the
Forgot.
most with Penner. Very authentic, leading into my quirks. And then he thinks it reminds us of Ryan Ulrich as well.
That's
Ryan Ulrich.
Actually, I
from-
can agree with Ryan. Pick.
From Hero versus Healers
I see
versus
that. I
Hustlers.
see that. I could see Austin like being the Devons or Devon.
No, not Austin. Drew.
No, I'm saying like how Drew is
Oh,
Ryan,
no! I
Austin
see.
as Devon. I could see that like duo dynamic happening. But I
Okay.
forgot how tall Drew is, and I was gonna be like, height doesn't matter on Survivor, but that stupid reward
Drew is a
challenge.
fucking
man.
string bean.
I forgot that stupid reward challenge where you had to like get the stick and like
Yeah, there's
unwind
always
it.
like some random thing where height matters. Like even Jonathan, he was also built, but like he was still very tall, and like he used that to his advantage many times throughout the challenges of Hit 42. So I
Yeah,
feel
like
like
that
height
one
is definitely
challenge
very important.
in the pre-merge where they had to like go through a really strong current and the other teams couldn't do it, and then John was like fucking
Oh yeah, like
Soloed
carrying
it.
everyone.
yeah, carrying everyone with the ladder. Like just you need people like that, Not to say Drew will be like that.
Yeah, Drew's definitely not that
I'm
person.
looking at the tribe
not
photo
him.
because you said
Harry said ladders.
Drew was like super tall, and it also made me think like Nico is kind of built like Russell, don't you think? Sifu
Which one?
Sifu.
Russell
built like
Hands?
Russell Hands,
Like a little shorter, but like big.
I feel like he's more built
short
like
and
Tony
wide.
From, like he's definitely like first season Tony. I feel that's what his build looks like.
He's built like Saiku
Really?
from the Cook Islands. That's what he's kind of built like.
Steiku. Oh,
Speaking,
so
I
yeah,
feel like he's more physically
that's
built though
just
than
a
Seiko.
random.
That's
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's more built than Seiko.
to divert from random topics, I'm sorry.
Yeah, sorry, my bad.
Oh, I mean, we never know. Survivor, how you're built might affect the way you play. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah,
One thing I will agree with is whether or not he's built like Tony is a whole nother debate, but he's certainly playing like Tony. During the Red Tribe scenes, Nico or Sifu is caught in 4K, picture day, in his makeshift spy shack, and he's playing it off like, oh, if only I was spying on you guys. Like, oh, I should have done that. That would have been funny. And like his whole tribe's like, oh, you had a shack, you were spying on, and like no one's believing him. I know people in the Discord are big fans of Sifu, but he's not. He's on the wrong foot, especially when you get caught with a little spy shack. It was built, I forget who it was. I think it was D. D turned the corner and saw like the whole, like MTV Cribs, like the whole house tour of his spy shack was just shown for display. My question to you guys is: Do you think this is like a detriment to Sifu, or is it just like a little hurdle that he's gonna get over?
I don't think Sifu's
Sifu,
making
I
it
think, is
past.
getting the Brad. Sifu is getting the Brad Reese treatment. I think.
From
Brad
41?
Reese.
Yeah, from 41.
I mean,
I
I don't think I don't think this event specifically is like gonna gonna hurt his game, but I think it's just a sign of what's to come. Like, you know what I mean?
Foreshadowing.
Yeah.
How he plays. I think
I
the
can-
real detriment to Sifu is actually not that like he's playing this way, but I think the fact that there's such a bad tribe that exists in yellow. Like you gotta be on red. Like we can afford to lose Sifu. I feel like that could be the thought process.
Oh
Or like if we just get
yeah.
rid of Sifu, we still beat yellow because yellow's just so shit. Especially after they didn't vote out like Emily or like Brandon. You have to be thinking that. So I think being a strong challenge player in these other two tribes is like not gonna help them because I think they feel like they can win without them, especially with how
Honestly,
weak yellow is.
I love that take. It even happens with Minecraft Survivor. You know, it's not only how stuff is on your tribe, but rather the other tribe. And I actually I love this like sort of idea. It's technically like it doesn't matter if you're strong if one tribe is really weak, because if that one tribe wins, it's not going to be seen as like, oh, their tribe's suddenly strong. No, they got lucky. I mean, with Minecraft Survivor, I'm gonna use the old faithful example, NKS or Jonas. Whenever he's on a tribe and you win, most of the time, if you have someone who can match that skill level and possibly bounce back with him, go toe to toe, that person isn't gonna get voted out. The only exception where I see tribe strength not playing a factor is if you don't have anyone who can compare to Jonas's level, to where, okay, let's just play solely strategic, and that's where Lulu is right now, sort of where we don't have anyone who can
Lulu
combat these.
losers.
The Lulu losers. They can't really combat. Yes, Caleb's strong. Yes, Sabaya is strong, but they really can't go toe to toe with the rest of the tribes.
Like
to the point
Austin
where-
Sifu combo.
yeah, they can't combat that. So they can't combat even like Bruce, for example. So
Do you think when they
why
were like
play
marooning
strength?
that they knew what was to come? Like when they saw Brandon not being able to get up the ladder, they were like, this season's gonna be horrible. Like, cause
From like producers or from like the cast?
just from like, dude, imagine you're Caleb and you're just seeing like two people cannot get up a ladder, and you had this.
Dude,
like,
my heart goes out to
lead.
Caleb. Caleb has like the train wreck of a premiere. One, he's like he's
Like,
barely
he knows
edited, but he's like,
Fuck, this tribe.
He's still
Brandon-
catching strays for no reason.
yeah, and he's catching strays for no reason. Like he has Brandon, who's like the challenge liability, Emily, who's pissing everyone off, but who is like playing spoiler or like going hard targeting
Against him.
and then you
And Sab-
like
Sabaya to mix in.
Sabai is the only person, but at the same time, Sabai is a liability because he's getting pinned as a duo. He's getting pinned as a duo with her, but they're not going after Sabai. They're going after Caleb. So like every person on his tribe is a detriment to him. No one's there.
Sabaya also like was really rude to Hannah. Like, yeah, we can vote you out later, pretty much. Like, who says that to someone at a tribal? And be that confident when you know someone's like hard against you, like Emily. It's just ridiculous.
Something with the yellow tribes, man. The yellow tribes, the 43 Baka tribe was chaotic. The Yase was chaotic. Like it's honestly a little bit of a curse. I know people joke about how like
it's like that orange cat energy.
yes, it's the yellow tribes on this new era. Gameplay, like stat wise, have not been doing the best, but content and story, like I'm gonna love watching Lulu, but it's gonna be a thing where like this is such a train wreck of a tribe where it's so entertaining. But let's dive back to Red for a little bit before we close this out. I think the only other thing of big notice is Austin. Austin, he's like Sifu's getting caught, but when I'm looking, I'm playing it smart. I'm not getting caught, and he finds the beware advantage. So the beware advantage is, I guess, back. We've seen it in 41, 42, but instead of having to say some goofy phrase, for now at least, it's more of like a scavenger hunt. It's a shopping list. It's the shopping list beware. You have basically a list of tasks that you have to do in order to get this idol. And until then, you can't vote. And the only thing we know is the first part, which is you have to decode or, solve this tribe message on your flag. And something I wanted to ask is this is like one of the only things that like we've seen that's new. Do we think that this can be recreated in a Minecraft Survivor? Like, you guys are players, some of you are hosts, some of you have been on production teams. Do you think this is something where, you know, both the beware advantage, you know, with its phrases, for example, do you think something like that could be implemented into Survivor? And do you think something like this, with having to decipher a code on a tribe mat or like a message, hidden message, do you think this is something that can be created in a Minecraft Survivor?
It has already.
It has?
By
Please
Channel
share.
Mud. Channel Mud has
By
done
Cha-
it. You
Okay,
were literally
well,
on the season.
Well, no. Channel Mud, yes, had the beware advantage, but instead of having to say a goofy phrase, they had to disassemble and destroy a whole island, which, yes, in theory, might be something risky of like, why is this person saying to destroy an island? But we're all there
We
for
do
content.
that shit all the time.
Yes,
bro.
we do that. Like when the person who found the clue said that, I didn't say it as like, why is this person wanting to do this? I saw it as like, oh yeah, this is free content. We have nothing else to do. Sure, let's do it. Compared to maybe a phrase, I think. Do you think something like that could be created, or do you think it's just not going to happen? Because
You mean like the decoding thing and everything like that?
well,
or-
let's start with the phrases. Let's start with the beware advantage phrase. Where like, let's take 41 and 42 for example, where you got the advantage. You have to
Classic.
say, yeah, the classic beware advantage. You have to say a phrase or a message at tribal council, or no, at the challenges. Do you think like something like this can be recreated in Minecraft Survivor, or do you think it's just no way? Everyone already knows about the beware advantage. It's not going to work.
I think a phrase just would not work. Like, you're not talking to us before a challenge. You know what I mean? You're not like
Mhm.
going like, "Oh, how loose camp?" Yet like, okay, you're not doing that shit. And if you do, and then it's like kind of obvious. If they say some stupid phrase in front of me, I'll be like, okay, well that's kind of obvious.
So
I have seen someone do it before, like where it's like at tribal council instead, which I feel like is definitely the more way to do it. But then the tribe doesn't hear it, right? So it's more like it's a self beware advantage where you have to do at tribal.
Okay,
But
got it.
that's like the way I've seen it implemented, and it kind of works because like you can get away with saying some random shit at tribal councils.
Got it. So like, yeah, okay, I get what you mean, because like even in unrecorded game shows, a host is gonna be asking you questions at tribal. So I got a question for you then. Do you think in a recorded scene where like you're filming a shot of them walking in and asking them questions, because some hosts will do that, like, how does it feel to lose or how does it feel to win? Do you think it might work then?
Absolutely, I think so. Because when you're in a recorded, you kind of default to like, like okay, I have to survive this. I don't know exactly what I'm doing, but I just, like you're kind of there for the experience, and you're not really like on your toes. I mean, maybe some people are. Like maybe like some people are, when they get onto a recorded and stuff, are comparing like past recordeds that they played. Like if you're Mason or something, right? Atlantic Justice, you played like 7 recordeds. Maybe you'll start comparing notes and stuff. But assuming you have an all new cast, I don't think the average person would necessarily think of like, oh, that's definitely the beware advantage. Maybe now, because like Survivor or Real Survivor, if they watch that, they've done the beware advantage like every single time. But
Okay.
on average, probably not.
Okay. So
I'd like to just put something in. This doesn't necessarily relate, but it's kind of a funny thing. I was once playing a Theo meme season, and the clue that I got was on camera show you eating 3 pieces of American cheese for an idol. And I did it, and I got an idol.
okay.
So
I would say this counts. This sort of counts as the beware advantage. Not in this. I
So-
don't think you lost your vote, but it's something that you have to-
Does anyone know the Ice Cube incident? Nah, never mind.
No,
never mind.
no.
I can't say that. I can't say that.
But
Yeah.
I agree with you, Rundell. This is sort of like the beware
yeah.
advantage, where you're doing something unethical or something that's a little bit
Unethical to eat cheese.
Orthodox.
unorthodox. Unorthodox is the better word. Because like if I asked Rundell a question at tribal council, I wouldn't expect him to turn on his camera and eat 3 pieces of. Okay, so I don't know if you remember, Rundell, from your experience, did it work? Were people catching on, or did people just play it off as you being goofy?
Everyone knew. I mean, I think okay. Well, he hit a bunch of like really stupid idols. They all. This wasn't the only one. There were like I don't know, like 10 of these, right? And so he just
Oh,
kept hiding them and
It's
stuff.
the meme season,
So
yeah.
meme
yeah,
season. Okay.
it's definitely very different than like a recorded per se. But like everyone was like, oh yeah, yeah, he has an idol. But it was a meme
Okay.
season, so
So
it
in
didn't really
that
matter.
case, let me go talk about the 45 advantage that is like we've just seen it here. It mimics sort of the old school idle hunts where it's like go to point A, go to point B, go to point C. Austin has to do apparently a series of tasks to get the idol. And the first one is taking a piece of paper from the Beware advantage and sort of holding it up against the tribe mat that has symbols or encryptions.
Yeah, the flag.
That one is
So,
horrible, dude.
I don't know how he's gonna do it. I think he's gonna have to phone a friend for that. and,
You
like,
just hang
have s-
around camp until some people leave. I feel that's how you just do it. Because eventually you're gonna be alone at camp. It's not like people are gonna be there all day.
It's
I
gonna
feel
be
like
hard
it'll
though,
be
because like the
doable.
camp is the epicenter. You can't really do it at night, so you can't do it while people are sleeping because it's gonna be hard to see. Um, I don't know, man. Like you kind of have to just wait for people to like get out of camp. And even so, it's like what happens if you lose an immunity challenge? I mean, the Lulu losers, right? They're a different tribe outside of the red tribe and stuff. So maybe they'll have some more chances, right? Or Austin will have more chances. But dude, like if he was going to tribal every single round and he really need that vote or really need that idol, this is not something you can do in like 1 or 2 rounds, you know?
Yeah, and I do like that because I do like it because it sort of debunks and sort of break checks we've seen this in both Minecraft Survivor and Real Life Survivor, finding the idol round 1 or episode 1. It happens in Frontier, and I do my best to try and limit that, but it really didn't work. How I did it, someone knocked it out in one whole round, and just premiere episode, someone finds the idol. So what I do like about this is that it sort of break checks finding the idol episode 1. You put a little bit more work to it, but also just on an entertainment aspect, you're sort of off putting the idol for a later episode. And I do kind of like that, but at the same time, I don't know how this is going to be done.
Yeah, I mean the main thing is like how many tasks is this? Because we have no clue what else it could be. Because like the first one we were at least hinted at, like with what's on this map? What's this mean? But like the rest we have no clue what they could be yet. So it is interesting with that because it's like a list of like 5 things. Like imagine if he just banged that all out in one episode or like got it insanely quickly. That would be the whole episode be about him. Austin just doing this entire series of tasks, and the entire red tribe just gets no screen time. It's just Austin doing his freaking idol.
Oh my gosh,
thing.
yeah.
I
Like
just thought
imagine
of
that happened.
I just thought of this, like if Red Tribe goes to tribal council and there's only 5 votes, I feel like everyone is going to turn their heads to Sifu. Like, what has this guy been up to, right? Did he
Honestly,
find
that's
If all
something
the
like
votes are
that?
red, yeah. If it's
That's
like
good.
unanimous vote though, but like Sifu could also just be that unanimous vote, so it could be.
honestly. But well, even then, if the unanimous vote is Sifu, as soon as Sifu gets that 4th vote, it's golden. Like that 6th vote isn't going to get revealed in theory.
Yeah, would
So
Austin just bang it all out in one
True.
take if he goes to travel? Like, will he try to do that if
I
he's
think
like nervous?
I don't know if he needs his vote, like if it's like a closer vote, maybe. But if it's something where like, oh, I don't need the vote's unanimous to where my vote's gonna be hidden, I think he might be fine. It depends if they reveal it or not. I don't think they do.
Yeah. I mean, also
I don't-
depends on their tasks too, because like if we don't know what they are yet, but if like it's something you have to do like at a challenge, then he's gonna have to be like he's got to wait anyways.
Oh
He probably
yeah,
could not rush
like if
potentially.
his last task is to say like a phrase at the next challenge and he's already going to tribal council, he's basically screwed.
Yeah.
But I guess like my thing is that can this be I guess like as a host producer, can this be recreated in Minecraft Survivor? Because at first what I was thinking is maybe it can, maybe you could use a map with map data, upload an image where like you have to compare it to something. But then I was sort of realizing Minecraft players, they don't really like keeping their camp tidy. To where if you build something like a tribe mat with encryptions, I think it just gets destroyed in the first like 30 seconds.
Well, in recorded states typically stay up, which I feel like that's where it has more implications. Like you can get away with like maybe putting something stupid on a sign on the tribe flag thing or whatever, but like if not recorded, yeah, that's not staying up.
So I'll,
Someone's
I'll
destroying
say
that.
what I do is that like in my most recent seasons is that I'll just put like maybe like 4 or 5 or 6 just random things that are basically red herrings, and on maybe one tribe, one thing has something on it, but just creating those landmarks and creating the
You're a
like
menace.
illusion. Yeah, I know, but like if I was just to put one landmark, everyone would be searching that, right? Like everyone would be like, "Oh yeah, there's obviously something here." Um, that's why I try to make the illusion like, "Oh, I just made the camp to like, just to
Mhm.
make it."
Okay.
So that's when I actually do make I don't really do scavenger hunt, but I try to make my idols like two-parters so that when um that pe I it still happens, the idol sniping round 1, but I feel like in the past 2 seasons where I've done it, it's limited it.
That's good to hear. I do like the scavenger hunt because it limits it, but also, and I've been doing this too for my recordeds. Um, I'll hide multiple clues to where it's yes a scavenger hunt, but it's where multiple people can get in on the scavenger hunt to where it's you're not following like it's like if Austin didn't lose his vote and this beware advantage was hidden in like 2 other places where it was a race between 2 or 3 people having to do these series of tasks. I feel like that'd be really cool and really intense because just as an audience viewer, you're not going to know who gets this idol, and it's really intense. It's not a thing of will Austin get the idol or will he not get the idol. It's who's going to get the idol first, which I think is just more entertaining on production standpoint.
I will counter this and say that wouldn't work in previous seasons. I don't know. Just in this season, it could work, obviously, but like past ones with the beads, for example, if you have multiple people going for those beads and they
Oh
are
yeah,
like fighting for it, oh my lord, they would know immediately that
no,
they
yeah,
each have a clue.
it wouldn't be like I think it would have to be something where like they implement like a new gimmick. Like I think the 43 thing, we're never gonna
They
see
all
beads
say the
again.
phrase.
Yeah, it's like I think if you do a scavenger hunt, it's gonna be something where it's like I think with anything, it's gonna be something new. Like 41, 42, the phrases are only gonna work then because that's the only time that like a new cast is seeing it. Like
I don't think Minecraft is like technologically advanced enough though. Like there's some stuff you just can't do.
yeah,
And I know it's advanced a lot in like the last couple months or not even months, just like years. Because you go back to like I don't know, Elite Chris is like season 1 or something,
oh
right?
yeah,
And
season 1 to season 9 is totally different.
yeah, but you can't do like the sign thing, you know? You need to
Yeah.
like install a mod or something, right? So, I
Mhm.
mean, it could be possible depending on, who's willing to download what mod or something, but
Yeah, who's willing to put in the hours? But the
Well, the harder
last
part is just I feel the hardest part about it is just like you can just break anything in Minecraft, right?
Yep.
Like at camps in particular, anything's destroyable. So like the idols have not evolved like at all in Minecraft because we can't. I feel there's
Yeah,
not like much we can do with it.
there's not really a lot you can do. But the last, I guess, subject I'll talk about for Minecraft Survivor, and then after that we can change the topic or we can call it a night, is I want to address the sweat or savvy. Because for the first time we've had a tribe guarantee lose. This time it's a little different because both tribes have lost, but it was interesting in a sense where like this reward challenge, competing for flint, competing for your materials, um, instead of both instead of it being the tribe against itself where you either get it wrong or get it right, it's now these 2 tribes having to face against each other where there's guarantee going to be at least one winner and at least one loser, or at least one loser. This time both tribes lost, but it was a new format to where you're guaranteed no matter what getting at least one loser. um I like it. I like the new concept of this reward challenge. It definitely makes it more entertaining, where it's like these 2 tribes now going head to head, another like mini challenge. But Minecraft Survivor, and I already know the answer, but I there's nothing that incentivizes reward in the first challenge. Like It's very hard. Like unrecorded,
Right.
there's a reason why you don't see a reward challenge round 1, because, or even in recordeds, you don't play for fire, you don't play for flint, you don't play for food, you play for an advantage in the first immunity challenge, and it sucks. And I really wish there was something that could change it, but like, do you think there's any way that we could implement this, or do you think this is just a thing where like,
I have an
Well,
idea. I think that you should
yeah,
make
I also have an
food
idea.
important, like not make people starve or whatever, but make it so like they can't run into challenges, right? So there's literally some stuff you can't do. Like if you have to make a 3-block jump, you would have to find some other way around it, or you just couldn't complete it, right? If you didn't harvest the food or you didn't do anything. I mean, I guess that kind of goes into the survival aspect, and I've seen a lot of survival Minecrafts or survival survivors, technically, I guess they're called, right?
no, like the
Crash and
older
burn.
ones, the older
Yeah,
ones where they more
if you die, you get like
incentivize.
a self vote, like that
Yeah.
type of shit. But it's no. Like those don't work. But there are some aspects where you can be like, well, you know what? Like make some aspects of the game kind of important. Maybe make a mod or something that's like, a temperature based mod. So you have to build the shelter. Because you see people build shelters because you're bored. Like, what are you gonna do during like when you win an immunity challenge? Like,
Mhm.
you're not gonna just sit there, maybe AFK and listen to music or something, but you want to do things that are interacting with the people at your tribe, and you want to have things that are kind of important to the game that add some more challenges, that add some more barriers, right? And I think the food like thing or whatever, right? I've been told it's kind of a bad idea, and I can see how it is a bad idea, but maybe there's like some logistics you can work out where it's like, okay, we need someone to do this, and we need to do people, or put people on certain tasks so we don't like just auto lose these immunities.
I have
I
played a survivor like this before, so I actually have some experience.
Go
It
ahead.
was kind of annoying. You do obviously have to focus on, having a farm, making sure you actually have food sources. And I gotta be honest with you, I think after like 20 minutes, I think I just said screw this, and then I got like 3 stacks of kelp and then just smelted that, and I was good for the whole season. So I can just run around, find the idol. But I will say, like, it does make you have to like build up your camp a little bit, which I feel like is definitely important to like kind of just have visually, I guess, for a survivor,
Mhm.
especially if it's recorded. But if it's like a non-recorded, it just feels like so much extra work, and you need more time. I feel like in a non-recorded setting
Mhm.
to like do all this stuff. If it's recorded, you definitely have the time to like
Yeah,
build it up a little bit.
because for non-recordeds, you're going for speed, you're going for swiftness. For recordeds, that's where you can sort of give a little bit of the time and be like, okay, we can make our season like a lot longer because we're actually trying to document this and tell a story and like
Yeah.
or like film it. Um,
Like for
I don't mind the food aspect. I think that's a good idea. Rondell, you said you had an idea. I don't know if you want to
yeah,
share it.
so I'll say like the only reward that I feel like has only ever worked for me is that you get an idol clue and you read it aloud to the whole tribe. And um I I know there's obviously like a problem with that. But I feel like it is nice, like you kind of get that like what you're talking about, everyone is hunting at the same time. Um
But Joe's referring
but
to the elements, no? Like,
Well,
trying to
Yeah,
make
like
I'm half and
yeah.
half.
non-advantages.
Well, no, like I'm not opposed to the idle advantage because, like, in theory, this is a reward that you want 100% 9 out of 10 times. My thing with it is that it's 9 out of 10 times because, like, on paper, I agree with Rondell. I'm like, oh, 100% an idle clue, albeit public, but an idle clue, 100% everyone would want, right? And then I look at this community and I'm like, oh no, there's definitely 1 or 2 people who'd be like, no, I don't. I'm gonna throw this reward challenge. I don't want anyone to get an idle clue. I don't want anyone to get like an advantage on
100%.
this idle hunt. So, and
But it's
that's the
like
thing that sucks. Like, I think it
I
has
think
to
challenge
be.
advantages could work.
Yeah, I feel like challenge advantage might work.
But they
It,
also could just snowball pretty hard. Because
yeah.
like
obviously their tribe will win, and then they're just even have a more advantage in the next one.
I once played in a Survivor where one of the challenges was that you had to build a shelter. So it was the problem with build battles is that it's based off of host opinions. Like I got voted out that round. I was like so pissed, right? But like that's one thing like One thing
I
I've
mean,
thought
not
about.
everything has to be skill though. Like they literally have like that competition in Survivor where like
No.
a expert comes in, you know.
Yeah, like definitely the older seasons. Like I did reward
All Stars,
challenge.
right?
Yeah, I
Like
did
where Rupert
like
builds the worst shelter known to man. It's like how does that not lose, right? You
Mhm.
know.
But I do agree with Ronald. It's an issue where, for at least Minecraft Survivor, you don't have a professional builder come on and like judge it from a third eye. You have the host or you have production team who has played a factor into casting and clearly has favorites and anti-favorites
Well,
to
that
where
sucks, but like there should be comps and stuff that aren't like 100% skill based, you know. And I know that's
no,
like
yeah.
in like a controversial take, right? Like everything has to be skill based, everything
No,
has to be parkour. Like
I agree. I think
Well,
hell no.
JP does a good job with that.
I
I
was
feel
about
like
to say,
overall
I
with
think
his
JP's
challenges.
a great example. JP for his first challenge in season 4, the Mesopotamia one, you had to build a tribe shelter. His most recent one was like you had to do a theater
A
performance
play, yeah.
where yes, I love these because like it's fresh, it's a hot take, but I think even Chill and Cool said this where and like even to this day I don't know for that theater challenge going into that the Yellow Tribe had lost the last 2 challenges to where it was going to be another thing where they're going to get picked off to where the argument now comes into play where like did the Yellow Tribe really earn the win in the challenge or did JP and his production team give it to the Yellow Tribe to where it's not a pagonging and sent the other tribe to tribal council? So
I mean, to be honest, like I know Electro and I know like who else was it, Knife or something. I
mhm.
mean, to be honest, like if they were really biased, they'd probably give the win to Chris. Like I know Electro, he's probably gonna like sit there and be like, oh man, I could
it's
really get in good with like Elite Chris or something. But
it's
I mean, they
half and
didn't do
half.
that, you
But
know.
like yeah, but like they're in a production team. Like they're valuing entertainment and the question is like and at least in my opinion, I think it's more entertaining if you have the other tribe go to tribal council and get a taste from their perspective, give both tribes the edit to where I like Chill and Cool was 100% commenting on this. And I think like looking back on the season, I do now, like with these challenges, because you don't have like, they didn't have like a Broadway director come up and like grade the challenge. You don't have a third opinion. You don't have a blank opinion. The opinion you always get is someone from production or the host. So I feel like these could work, and I do like the idea of like bringing in more non-skill based challenges. But the issue with it is that there's always going to be one person complaining, whether it be in the audience or on the season, of like, oh, you're being biased. You just picked it because you like our tribe better or you like their tribe better. As a host, I don't want to deal with that.
I mean, like, dude, the thing is, like, it's a necessary evil, and also this community should have new people coming in anyway, so you can kind of be more unbiased. I think it's more or less like a community issue than it is like, oh, I don't want to put this in because I don't want to seem biased or whatever. You know, it's like, dude, if you're so worried about like let's say I'm really good friends with Ken, and then Ken is on one tribe and then Theo's on another, right? And they're both DMing me on Discord, like, okay, please choose my tribe to win. I'm going home next or something. Obviously, like as a host, you don't want to be put in that position, but you shouldn't put yourself in that position in the first place, right? You know, community wise. But I just don't understand that like type of logic though. It's like be unbiased, you know, burn some bridges, and then because you're a host after all. The host and the contestant, they shouldn't be like a muddy thing. You can separate it, or at least people should separate it and be like, listen, you know what, I have to give it to the other tribe because they played better, or not played better but they build better, whatever the comp was, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I'm sorry to cut
the
you.
best
Yeah, you can go, Red.
non skill based challenges. I think the puzzle itself is like the best equalizer, or like make a more puzzle based challenge where it's not just like do parkour, do like some skill shot or something. I feel that's like the best equalizer you can make without it being like, pure luck based or something like that, or like something that's like a biased like judging or anything.
I don't think
But
host bias is like that crazy though.
I don't
I've
think
seen
it is
so
either,
many.
but it's something that
Yeah.
like can be brought up as like a counterpoint if like they think it's almost unfairly eliminated. Where like if it's like 3 puzzles in a row or something, that's on them or something. I feel that's
Mhm.
It's like hard to say because it's like how do you make a non-biased challenge or like a luck-based challenge or like a non-skill challenge in Minecraft?
Yeah, there's always gonna be someone complaining. I'm gonna steer away from this topic, because you know it's a rough topic, and we've already shared our 2 cents. But before we end up the stream, I actually do have a pretty cool tweet, and Floop, aka Channel Mud, sent me this, and I feel like we gotta talk about it because this is like pretty insane if it's true. So, someone posted on Twitter, quote, as much as we got during the hashtag Survivor premiere tonight, there was one big twist that didn't make the final cut. As at Jeff Prope describes, there is a new cross-tribal twist that had a Bolo member from the Blue Tribe not only visit Lulu, the Yellow Tribe, but cast a vote for them. Which I feel like we have seen a little bit in Minecraft Survivor. You know, I
They
know,
just
I'm like,
edited that out. What?
well, it
Wait,
makes
no
sense why
way.
they. Okay, well, it makes sense why they.
Well,
edited
obviously they
out.
cut it, yeah.
They cut
Yeah,
it
yeah.
because it had nothing to do with the episode. It had no gimmick. Because
But that blue person saw everything happen to Yellow Tribe, though,
Yes,
which
yes,
is like,
like
pretty.
Hannah-
That's a lot.
like yes, Hannah
That's pretty
walked,
big.
but knowing Emily 100% like said you need to vote with us. They were a duo. This is if this is a twist, I think this is really interesting.
Do you
And I
know
think
who
this
was sent or?
no idea. All I have is just the description, and even Channel Mud's like, oh, just someone from Bella went to Lulu Tribal to strategize right after the challenge. There's one
How
tribal
does Channel
council with
Mud know
them.
this?
However, that I have no idea. I think they found the tweet. However, that person on Bolo would secretly cast a vote without Lulu knowing. I think. Well, I don't think that would be the case because I think after the first tribal, you would know about the secret vote. Like someone could snitch who's done it before. But if that's actually a twist in the game, I think that's really fresh. Like props to Survivor, you know, they did the new fresh twist. The thing is, like the walk, I guess, prevented that, and it got hidden. But if this is actual thing, this is really insane because it now, if anything, I think it favors the people who are stuck in the minority. I could be wrong, but I think it really does.
I mean, definitely does.
Because let's say Lulu goes back to tribal, and one person actually does get dragged, and we actually do see this in an actual thing. It's a very interesting dynamic of this new person now becomes a swing vote within this fractured tribe of like Emily, maybe Brandon against Caleb and Sabaya. I mean, how do you guys feel about it? Because for me, I'm just like trying to decompress it. Like, oh my god, this is actually a thing. 2, what's your take? Do you think it's good for
Well,
Survivor?
this has
bad for
happened in
Survivor?
Australian Survivor.
Oh,
So
it
in
has?
Brains versus Braun, yeah, in Brains versus Braun, Australian Survivor, I think George used this. George and Kara, they went to their tribe, if I remember correctly. I don't think their vote mattered because it was at the swap, but I do think getting that information is so big, and I think George recognized that and he took advantage of the information he got to like kind of realize that dynamics a little bit better. So I do think that is pretty big because it was right before the merge too, and George used that pretty well to his advantage to like getting people on his side and like reorganizing the whole Brains tribe. But it's obviously very strong just knowing about the dynamics, especially knowing if Caleb could be going home here, and you're like, oh shit, I can vote a big threat like without any risk to me. Like I feel that's such a major advantage to like the weaker players in the game, especially if they can capitalize on this. Especially when hearing someone like Emily saying, "We gotta go for this duo," and that could get spread to other tribes. That's so bad for like Caleb's game, especially. He's getting kind of cooked
Dude,
by.
that puts the whole
another
comment into like a different perspective. Now I'm like, oh damn,
I
that's
think that's
kind of a
why
good game
Emily
move.
probably brought it up because
Yeah.
that someone else was there from another tribe.
That's probably why, because you want to sort of blow it up, put some sparks out. Oh my! I feel I'm gonna compare the Shot in the Dark because I feel like on paper it's like a really interesting dynamic and it sort of makes you have to play the game differently. But I think it's gonna be a case by case basis of is this advantage great or not, because I feel like this one has a little bit more promise because with Shot in the Dark we've seen it happen where like the person who's getting the votes plays it, but nothing really comes from it because the person always gets the not safe. And the one time that it was safe and it happened, it was like a 1 vote negated. Compared to this, where even if you join a tribal and like visit them, you know, I compare this to the visitation ticket. I tried doing this for a season, but I scrapped it just because I didn't see the use in it. Because I was just viewing it as tribal. But I feel like something that's gonna be a lot more important, especially with a recorded or not recorded, but with real life Survivor, new people, never met each other. The tribals are gonna be case by case. It's gonna be a thing where like, does your vote matter? Are you a swing vote? Are you forcing a tie? What are you doing? Is your vote even does your vote have power, or are you like is the tribe just so lopsided? But I think one thing that's always going to be beneficial is the information you get. And I feel like if Survivor highlights that, this is going to be a twist I think that the audience is going to love. However, if they just highlight the impacts it has on tribal council, then I feel like we're going to get a lot of mixed reviews. I don't know. Do you guys agree with me? Am I cooking? Am I not?
I think
Yeah.
Am I cooking?
It,
Okay.
I mean, I agree.
To
It's a
me,
good idea.
yeah, to me it feels like a really powerful like kidnapping. You know, it's like I'm not sure like who chooses like which exact member gets to go, but I think um like what Red was talking about, I think like yes, the vote matters. It definitely like helps the minority, but that information is so useful, especially in this new era of Survivor where uh you don't have early swaps. The like if there was kidnapping in these seasons, which is like to me this kind of sounds like what it is. The like just the information you gain just by getting that early head start is going to propel you. It's going to give you such a head start in the merge. So yeah, that's my take, I guess.
I agree with you. I feel like this is something with oh sorry, you can go run. You're good.
Oh yeah, I was just gonna bring up like more about the Braves versus Braun one because I just want to make sure what happened that round. It was a round where they were like splitting the votes between like Simon, who has two idols in his pocket, and then Simon's other close ally, Danny. And George, who was there, just started talking to like the person who was organizing the split vote. So he got a full sense of what was going on and figured out their dynamics like really quickly. I mean, I don't know how it works in this character because they could just be watching the whole time, but having George be able to like just talk to the other tribe when he has zero repercussions that can fall back on him pretty much is such an advantage. I feel like I feel like maybe if you do it differently, maybe where they can't talk, but that could also mean like does their vote matter? Like can they figure it out? But I think the way they used Now Survivor was so good where it just gave it's so powerful. I feel that's where I'm kind of going with it.
No, I agree with you, and I feel like for this twist, you need to make it known that there's someone either watching or there, because it's like it's comparable to like it's like I feel like it's a lot more interesting because compared to like when a swap happens and one person's on exile and like they're viewing tribal council, you might not say as much because that person is joining your tribe. They're not like leaving. They're not like this person is going to be playing with you / against you to where you don't want to leak information out necessarily. Or something like Island of the Idols where it's like a person sitting and watching secretly. That's not really a big tell because there's no reason to show your cards out. So you're going to keep them hidden. It's not like anyone's watching. But with this case, where if it's true, if there is someone who's sitting down, a part of talk time, watching tribal council, it makes so much more sense why Emily's saying this. But then it also encourages both game-wise and just entertainment-wise to make tribal live. Because if this is like the last thing a Bolo member is going to get before joining the other tribe, maybe put in a good word to where if you lose again, you get bailed out by this twist. But I think I 100% would love to see this in like a Minecraft Survivor recorded, but I don't think it can be because unless it's something worth like it's a fresh cast, a brand new cast, sort of mimicking the people meeting each other for the first time. If this was done in like an unrecorded, it really might matter as much because you're not looking at the horror. Like people might be in like the play with your friends idea or like pre-game or metagame sort of thing where like getting this information really might not matter. But if this was done in a recorded, for example, where people are meeting each other for the very first time, I think it really could be interesting. And I guess the only way we're going to find out is in the second episode of Star 45 if A, does this really happen? Is this an actual twist? And B, how does it play out? Is someone going to benefit from this? Is someone not going to benefit? Like, it depends. Like it depends who goes. Like, for example, if like someone from blue goes to yellow, and like it's a unanimous vote against Emily, that might not be really interesting. But if it's something more entertaining, where like, oh, this person's getting so much information, and they take out Caleb, for example, that might spark a lot of stuff. Where like, okay, this twist has shown us it can do a lot of stuff, and it's actually really interesting.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen it used once in Minecraft Survivors, but it was slightly different where they attend the tribal council and at the end they get to give someone like an extra vote or like a vote block. And that's how it was kind of used instead, where they couldn't vote, but they gave someone advantage, they had to use that round. It
Okay.
caused a pretty chaotic tribal, I will say, where I think
I can,
it is
I can only
it's
imagine.
great. Yeah.
It's like a parting gift. Like, okay, I'm gonna go, but take this. So I don't know if you can comment on this. So the person there just for tribal, or is it a thing with 45 where like they're going to talk time with them?
They were just at tribal. They just showed
Hmm.
up to tribal, but they couldn't like DM anyone, so they just had to speak out loud, which caused a no one wanted to say
Damn.
shit to them. It was pretty funny. So they
That
yeah, it was pretty good. The
No,
people at the
that-
bottom like just started like saying, "Help us, please."
that
It did work.
Oh, okay. That sounds really interesting. That I do like that concept. I don't. I feel like this is something I actually I do like this because it can be modified. It's not something. It's like with Beware Advantage. Beware Advantage is pretty vanilla. Where like you take it, you have to take it, you have to do something, you lose your vote. I feel like with this limit, or like this twist of like someone going back to camp and attending tribal council, it's something where you can modify it a little bit. And I think at the end of the day, that's what Survivor is. It's a base game, but different seasons have different tweaks and modifications that freshen it up. And I feel like this twist is something. I feel like Survivor hit the gold mine with this twist. They found a twist that is pretty solid baseline, but has the ability to be tweaked a little bit here and there. You know, you could do it to where they're just there at tribal. You can do it where they're just there at talk time. You can do it where they themselves vote, or they give a vote to someone, or block a vote from someone. And I think because of that, it adds little variables to this, which if you put on to a season 2 or 3 times, you're going to get different results. And at the end of the day, I think that's what Survivor goes for. They try to make it a baseline game that already is complex, but each time they tweak one little thing, and it becomes a whole new game. And I think that's why we love it so much. I think with oh yep, Hourglass. Yep, that
9 idols in play in quotation marks.
nine idols in play. Hourglass. Yeah, I demerge sometimes. Like, I
The demerge is good. Earn the merge though, not good.
oh my god, earn the merge. That's what I meant. Yeah, it's hit or miss sometimes, but I think with that we're gonna close it out. Thank you very much for all of you for not only watching the episode but sitting here and talking. I hope you guys had a good time. I feel bad because I feel like we're getting a good talk, but it's getting pretty late. I have a bedtime. I have to go to bed. I have to read my bedtime story. But yeah, to the audience, to the viewers, I hope you enjoyed this talk. We're bringing on a different take. We're not looking at it, I guess, entertainment wise. We're also looking at it like, can this be implemented to our community where we're from, and just overall, how do people who care a lot about the game more than, I guess, personality, which it's a new take. It's another opinion. It's a different opinion, and I hope you guys like this. I'm gonna try and bring back this podcast maybe every week, maybe every other week. But with that, I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you very much for watching. And before I go, 2 things. One, I do a watch party every Wednesday on my Discord server. Discord is an online chatting app. If you want, download it, join my server. I stream Survivor. If you want a place to watch it, you can feel free to, deafen and mute and just watch it there. And I have a podcast. You're watching it right now. I have a YouTube channel. Stay subscribed. turn on notifications so you get updates on when I upload a new video, whether it be for a podcast, whether that be for a challenge video for Minecraft survivors, or whether that be the Frontier, a great Minecraft server that you should definitely watch. With that, I'm rambling too much. I need to go to bed. Thank you very much, Red. Thank you very much, Aries. Thank you, Rondell, and thank you, Rainy. Very much for just being a part and putting up with me for 90 minutes. So, with that, I will see you guys all later. Anything you guys want to say? Anything to close it out?
Brando's winning it all, baby.
Brando or
really hoping
Brandon?
that
Because you're
Brando,
tweeting
baby.
Brandon's winning.
Yeah, real quick.
Yeah.
Real quick. Okay, winner picks. Red, what's your winner pick?
Brando.
Aries, what's your winner pick?
Actually, we haven't seen her yet, but D. I think D,
D.
could do pretty well.
Okay,
Yeah.
Rondell, what about you?
I like Austin's chances.
Okay, Austin, Rainy. Last one. Close it out. Who do you think's gonna win?
I have a soft spot for Jake, but after this first episode, I'm gonna say Sabaya.
And gosh, I don't know. I'll say Caleb. If he can dodge a few strays, he might have it out. With that, I've been JoMaH. These are my buddies. Thank you very much for watching Swap Screwed, and I will see you guys all next time. Peace out.
Bye.
Everybody, drop your buffs. We are switching tribes.